This is Wicked Rhody, a wicked good podcast about Rhode Island events and life. Hey everybody and welcome. My name is Mary Larson.
And I'm Ben DeCastro. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am not Blake Larson, although I would like to thank him for his filling in for me last week as I had to handle some last minute and insanely chaotic travel. It was fun, though. It was an adventure for sure. But I truly, he did such a great job. Folks, if you are a regular listener or if this is your first time listening, strongly suggest going back to last week and listening to the podcast, episode 68, because Blake is a unique, a truly a specimen that can never be duplicated unless, obviously, it happens with your son. Yes, Reese.
I was going more the sci-fi route,
Well, I mean, I think because you're raising your child and your children here in Rhode Island, he will not be subject to the elegance of a Revere accent. But, Blake employs the use of the word jamoke, jabroni, meathead, a few other terms,
adjectives.
Very, very well used adjectives. Other ones he uses in person, not on recordings for simple. The FCC does have regulations. Regardless, he did a great job, and I truly appreciate it. If you have a chance, folks, go back and listen. He was great, and I appreciate it. It was crazy week after Christmas.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, we tape this podcast on a Tuesday, typically. It is edited and, mastered, whatever Blake does to your husband.
Lots
Blake,
of magic.
To make it work. And then from there, the next Tuesday, we record it 1 week at a time because we like it to be fresh.
Yes.
You did a year on the road show. I have my own series that I do. I fill on the radio from time to time. There is something to be said about if you can't do it live, do it as close to the date as possible. Makes a huge difference. Well, 3 weeks ago, we said, okay, with the Christmas holiday, New Year's, let's batch the two.
Let's double up.
And we did it.
Yep.
And it sounded fine. So the one that came out on the Thursday before Christmas.
Yes.
And then the Thursday after Christmas.
Correct.
We recorded those two in one day. That left us with the Tuesday after New Year's. And you and I had talked, and I said, no. I said, I don't see why that would be a problem. The kids will be back in school. Your kids. Susan's back to work. That shouldn't be an issue. Well, my cousin, who is, my guy cousins, we grew up together, some of my best friends, closest friends, got a call, a life-changing call on Saturday, career-changing, I should say. Well, I guess it's life-changing. And all of a sudden, he had to up and leave his house, his apartment, his apartment in quiet New York City and move to Virginia.
Hey, how quickly?
Well, he got the call Saturday. He had to resign from his position on Saturday evening, which the job he had allowed him to do that. And then had to be in Virginia for 8 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Ooh.
Yeah. On top of, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, securing an apartment down there. So I got the call on Sunday to, saying, hey, listen, can you, because the place his wife works, she still has to be in New York for a little while. So all this to say, I took, that book, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
I did all of that on the day after New Year's Day. And the day after as well, trying to get back before the storm, because all of a sudden I drove down with him. Then I needed to get back on the Wednesday, which was the day before the storm. All the flights started changing. I had arrangements to go one airline. That fell through because they just kept on moving stuff around. So I was a big Lyft customer in one day. And I met a very, very nice woman, Amy. She gave me a Lyft ride from Lynchburg, Virginia to the Richmond, Virginia airport, about 2 hours.
Hey, that's really affordable lifting. Huh?
And I give a very nice. We became great friends. She runs an Airbnb down there. Her husband and her two beautiful adopted kids, Jameson and Caroline. Oh, wow, I remember that.
Look at you.
I know. I hope she listens to that. I'm going to tell her to listen to this anyway. But it was a blast. It was a fun ride. We had a lot of things in common. It was cool. And then flew back up to Boston. Everything was going
to haywire.
Because of the storm coming in. So I had to take another lift from Boston to my house, get home, just to be told as soon as I got home that I had to go to the fire station.
Why?
Well, because there was a blizzard. Grayson.
So why do you get called to the fire station when there's a blizzard?
Because volunteer firefighters typically respond from their home to the station when there's a call, and then you get on the fire truck, and from there you go to the call.
Gotcha.
If your street is not plowed yet, if you are in a vehicle that has only two-wheel drive, not all-wheel drive, it can delay response. So anytime there's a big storm or significant, snowfall or whatever, they then ask that we man the stations. There is compensation for it, especially when there's a state of emergency declared, which there wasn't, but they still take care of us. So it's all well and good. Needless to say, all of this because of this punk Grayson with his little Bombo Genesis or whatever.
I still don't understand it. It's something about dew points dropping.
Yeah, well, dew points dropping.
It's a big storm.
Well, and here's the thing. Here we are almost a week later, and kids still aren't back to school because of bursting pipes. We had the significant cold weather. We had there's flooding. And now that things are starting to heat up, and over the next few days we'll have temperatures in the 40s and 50s.
Balmy.
You will see people who didn't realize that their pipes are frozen. Now they thaw out, and you're going to have even more issues. So it will be a giant mess. So good luck to everybody.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yay.
So if you're tuned in while you're wet dry vacuuming, soaking up the water in your basement, you're working, getting errands done, or just chilling and relaxing, sit back, enjoy the episode. If you hear something that piques your interest, we'll have all the info for you in our show notes and on our website, wickedrodypodcast.com.
So this week, I've got a wicked interesting pick for you.
Okay.
Now, I know that you like to manja. You like to eat.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I know that you're like me and you like to also be frugal.
That is, I think anybody would appreciate that. I mean, unless, yeah. Save money.
There you
That
go.
helps.
Well, guess what? It's Providence Restaurant Weeks going on the 14th through the 27th. That's right. I said weeks.
Ooh,
because
multiple.
They feel bad that it's cold. We had Bombo whatever come on up with Grayson, and people in Providence want you to come on out and eat, drink, and be merry. Okay, it's the red hot culinary scene. We talk about the food eating potentials in Providence all the time, how it's absolutely delicious, and how this is going to warm up the scene in Providence. So once again, it's from the 14th through the 27th. There are going to be menus from 100 restaurants.
Whoa.
Nearly 100, but I'm going to say 100 because I bet you there is going to be 100. Someone else is going to jump on that bill. There are going to be 3-course lunches at $16.95, 3-course dinners at $29.95. Some that are super fancy might be $34.95. And then 2-for-1 specials. So this is one of the best times to get out to the capital city, try those restaurants that you've been wanting to try out. I actually recommend that couples who are pulling their hair out thinking about what are we even going to do for Valentine's Day? Because Valentine's coming up next. Of course, that's the big holiday.
Sure.
Do a special date night on the cheap by going for one of those 2-for-1 specials.
Well, if you're looking at the credit card statements that have just started coming in after the holidays and you're like, "Ugh," but yet you still want to support the local economy, this is a great way to do so. And try new restaurants, absolutely. Now, the important thing to realize that when they do these restaurant weeks, there is typically a limited menu. It's a certain amount of selections, and for a number of reasons, you should keep that in mind. This is not something to just do off a whim. This is something you should definitely check out. So we have a link.
It's on our website.
Okay, good.
And also, just because we're calling it Providence Restaurant Weeks, it actually doesn't just mean Providence. It's like the Providence area. I mean, there's places in Cranston, in Warwick, and Swansea. So as I said, over nearly 100 restaurants are taking place in this. So this is the time to go out for lunch meetups, hang out with some friends, tell your boss that you're going out for lunch, because this is quite the deal. Once again, it's taking place the 14th through the 27th of this month.
All right, that's our Wicked Interesting Pick of the Week. And now here is the Wicked Fun in the 401. If you have ever wanted to start a business or had an idea for a food business, and maybe you're not even at the point where you want to start this business tomorrow or next month or within the year, it's a future plan of yours. Hope in Maine and Warren, Rhode Island, I mean, these guys are the premier food business incubator. They have a really great opportunity coming up this Saturday, January 13th. It is the Food Business Bootcamp.
Sounds tasty.
So if all this talk of Restaurant Week has got you thinking, gee, maybe this is a good opportunity for me to, pursue that dream I've been thinking of, this is something you should definitely check out. They are doing an all day long seminar, different workshops on a variety of topics, including market research, business plans, sales and marketing, funding options, legal considerations, operation management. Listen, anybody can start a food business, but it's sustaining the food business afterwards. And it doesn't just have to be a restaurant. It could also be you want to make preserves, you want to make jams, you want to make sauces. I had a friend who wanted to make an item that was all natural and freeze it, and then, package it and label it for retail in various stores. They can help you with all of that stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. This is a really cool thing. You want to check out this entire day-long boot camp because they're going to have a panel discussion with entrepreneurs who are currently running food-related businesses. There will be opportunities for self-assessment, networking, and also some Q&A. So go to the experts. If it's been something that you've had an idea to do with a spouse or a partner or a friend or just yourself, this is going to be the best way to learn one of two things. Either A, you definitely want to do it, or B, no. Run away. I thought I wanted to, but now I don't. And sometimes that's the best thing.
You
don't
agree.
understand, so
before you invest a ton of cash into something.
And time and frustration, absolutely. So check that out. That's happening on Saturday. It is the Food Business Bootcamp, Saturday, January 13th, 2018.
I love it.
At Hope in Maine and Warren. What's up with the dinosaur days?
Oh, so Ben, in my earlier life, meaning, middle school days, even through most of my high school days, I wanted to be a paleontologist.
Okay.
No joke. That is what I wanted to be. I was totally assured that was what I was going to do. I was going to dig up fossils and put them back together like a puzzle. And I was going to teach people about dinosaurs. And then I realized that, they're probably really dug up. So I decided instead to become a music teacher.
There you go.
I'm really happy I made that choice, but I still have this passion for dinosaurs. And my kids have started to love dinosaurs as well. So I'm really excited that they're going to be having an event called Dinosaur Days at the Museum of Natural History and Cormac Planetarium. This is in Providence. You know when you're going to Roger Williams Park, and as you're going to the zoo, you pass that beautiful building on the right side, but before you get to the Rotary,
yeah,
it's in that park. So that is the Museum of Natural History. Absolutely gorgeous building, well worth being a member at. But at this event, it's going to be taking place January 13th through the 15th. You can celebrate dinosaurs and their closest living relatives, which are birds, with a holiday weekend of family fun at the Museum of Natural History. You get to explore the world of dinosaurs, examine real fossils up close, and talk with the dino experts. There's going to be games, there's going to be crafts, tons of fun is going to be happening for the oldest and youngest dinosaur experts in your family. So it is free with museum admission. And I just want to make sure you guys know that they don't actually have a full out dinosaur skeleton. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up that that's going to be there, but there will be fossils and lots of discussion and prizes and totally fun things. So if you have dino lovers, or if you yourself wish you were a paleontologist, this is going on the 13th through the 15th at the Museum of Natural History, which is right over in Roger Williams Park.
Well, that's going to be a good event. And, the park is still open, the zoo. Zoo's still open. So if you're looking for stuff to
Yes.
do, especially as the weather, if it's going to be, I know it's supposed to rain a lot on Friday into Saturday, but Sunday is supposed to still be decent. Zoo's open.
Awesome.
Always go to the
It was
zoo.
open on those like super cold Arctic days. I
Yes.
saw plenty of cars still in the parking lot, and I was like, wow, those people are hardcore.
Absolutely. There were no animals. They were all inside, huddled around the little warming systems there. But no, they were fine. Speaking of those icy cold days, a lot of the polar plunges and penguin plunges for New Year's Day got postponed. The reason being safety. It was way too cold out. And when people do these events, sometimes they're not really thinking.
What do you mean? Of course they're not thinking. They're going into Arctic water.
But you can do it. There's a safe way of doing it, and understanding, A, if you have any kind of medical history, you shouldn't be doing it. But also, if you're going to be going in, a lot of people don't realize that you have to breathe. Thinking about breathing is an important thing.
Breathing like as you're running into the icy cold water, they don't breathe?
People stop breathing. Yeah, that's the number one reason why people have issues when if for some reason they end up in a cold water situation, they panic, the brain starts sending all sorts of mixed signals, they go into shock, and so they stop breathing, or they take in like little hyperventilation breaths. If you just breathe, you just can get into your own mind to do it. But anyway.
So that's a big tip for any of you who are plunging.
Absolutely. All of those Wim Hof method people out there are very proud. But it is the 42nd annual Penguin Plunge to benefit Special Olympics Rhode Island. It is happening on Sunday, January 21st. Now, we know this is an extra week away, but we wanted to give you the advance notice because if you weren't aware of this, first and foremost, or B, if you wanted to do it and were traveling during the holidays, and now's your chance to check it out, there will literally be hundreds of people on the beach on Sunday, January 21st to run into the ocean. It's going to be great. It's at Roger Wheeler State Beach, right down there in Narragansett. Parking is free. It's the one day of the year, one of the many days of the year, I guess. But it's a free beach parking day.
Hey, there you go.
The food stand will not be open though. Bring your own food, but it's definitely something cool to check out.
So aside from breathing, what other tips do you have for plungers?
Now listen, I wear a Speedo when I do this, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're just trying to show off," which I know I do look good. But anytime if there's a cold water victim, and I know this from firefighting, also from growing up with the Scouts and Rangers and stuff. When you get a person out of cold water, you need to cut off all their clothing, everything. You need to get all that wet clothing away because that sucks the heat out of your body. Your body starts regenerating heat, and the cold, wet clothing keeps zapping.
Makes it even colder.
Exactly. So I do it because my body starts warming up right away once you get out of the water, and I don't have the the trunks or a t-shirt or whatever. It's actually best to go on in the water with as little on as possible.
Awesome.
Unless you were wearing a wetsuit, and the thing is with the wetsuit is you don't stay dry, you get wet, but the wetsuit holds the water real close to you, and it heats up that water.
Nice.
And it allows you to slowly heat it up, and you can stay in the tempered water longer. All that to say, if you're going to do this, it's fun. Just maybe watch a few videos on how to do it safely. Take my advice and
wear a Speedo, maybe.
Yeah,
There you go.
Nothing wrong with a Speedo.
Well, this is an event that I would not recommend you wear your Speedo to. It's the Kids Fun Fair and Traveling Zoo. This is this week's wicked family-friendly pick of the week.
Well, you could wear a Speedo there. You'd just probably get arrested.
You probably would. Or maybe you'd get thrown to the elephant to play with, because there is actually a traveling petting zoo with elephant and camel and pony rides. There's going to be games, face painting, rides for kids, lots of fun things.
Is it a two-way petting zoo?
Oh, I bet. Maybe it's like a licking zoo, because don't all those animals like lick?
Well, that would be
really
a one-way licking zoo. That'd be gross if your child licks the animal. They probably need to see their pediatrician right after.
Right? My kids have licked so many things when they were little. It's really, I would not be surprised. So this is taking place on Sunday from 10 to 6. Now, did you say on Sunday it's going to be rainy or sunny?
It could be a little of both. It's January in Rhode Island and southern New England, so take your pick.
We know nothing. So this, once again, it's going to be the Rhode Island Convention Center. Adults are $16. Children 12 and under are free with a coupon. You can find that on our website. It's going to be cash or credit. But once again, if you need to get your little ones out of the house, and if they like animals, this is going to be fun. Obviously, there's parking at the convention center, so you don't have to worry about braving any of the rain. You literally can just park and then you stay dry.
Yeah, you could also park at the Providence Place Mall and go through the Omni Hotel and the little sky bridges. So, and then on the way back, maybe you hit the food court or Dave & Buster's or the IMAX.
Smelling like a camel.
There you go. It'll be a wonderful thing. The animal, not the cigarettes.
There you go.
Folks, as we said in the beginning, everything we talked about today can be found on our website, wickedroadypodcast.com.
You can find us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you're going to any of these events, we would love for you to tag us and tell your friends that you heard about it on Wicked Rhody. You can tag us, or you can even use the hashtag Wicked Rhody.
For advertising and sponsorship information, email us, wickedroadypodcast@gmail.com.
And the best way for people to learn about podcasts is through word of mouth.
Yes.
If you listen to us, if we keep you company on your drive to or from work, while you're on the treadmill at the gym, while you're walking your dog, while you're doing your dishes, please tell a friend. Show them how to find the podcast app on their phone, because a lot of people don't know what a podcast is.
No, they need to learn. They need to learn.
And if you do like us, leave us a review on iTunes. It will really warm our heart. And Lord knows, we need to get warm nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after that last cold snap.
Oh, really? Well, until next time, folks, I'm Mary Larson.
And I am not Blake Larson. I am Ben DeCastro. Once again, thank you, Blake, for covering for me last week.
Yay! And you've been listening to Wicked Rhody. We'll have more for you next Thursday.
Go Patriots. Sunday night, 8:30 or 8:15, 8 o'clock.
Sometime at night.
Yeah.
Just make sure you have your football food.
Yeah, lots of it. And let me know where it is, because I'm coming.
I'm hungry.